From his first job flipping burgers at McDonald's and delivering the Washington Post, Craig Willett counts only 1.5 years of his adult life working for someone else. Welcome to the Biz Sherpa podcast with your host, Craig Willett, founder of several multi-million-dollar businesses and trusted advisor to other business owners. He's giving back to help business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs achieve fulfillment, enhance their lives, and create enduring wealth. The Biz Sherpa.
This is Craig Willett, the Biz Sherpa. I'm grateful you joined me today. I kind of have a fireside chat set up in my Sherpa's Den today. I'd like to spend a little bit of time with you to discuss opportunities. You know, there's this old saying that says, opportunity knocks. What are you doing when opportunity knocks? Have you heard it knock before on your door? Notice that the saying doesn't say that there's a door of opportunity and you have to go find it and knock on it. It knocks on your door. So why do you think that is? I believe that because no one person can control all the elements in the world to align the opportunities that might be ahead of you, you have to be prepared and be in tune. So I'm going to share with you 3 secrets that will help you identify opportunity and then seize that opportunity as it comes your way. You know, and you need to be prepared to walk through that door when you open it. So let's talk about the first one. You need to be tuned in. You know, there's so many distractions in the world today that you could sit there and have opportunity knocking and not even hear it. I watched a TV show the other day, one of my favorites, and there's an assistant to a powerful person who had on headphones, and that person's boss brought them some papers, but also gave him some verbal instructions before he gave him the papers. And we gave his assistant the papers. The assistant, he took off his headphones and he says, okay, I'll take care of that paper. And he said, you didn't hear anything else I said? And he said, no. You know, to me, I liken that to being out of tune. Sometimes we're so distracted by things that we want to be thinking about or things that we might think are important that we may not be able to hear that opportunity when it knocks on our door. So how do we do that? Well, I think the first thing is we need to take off the do not disturb sign. We need to be available to other people. Part of finding opportunities is to associate with other people. For me, one of my greatest opportunities, and probably the biggest opportunity that came my way in business, came from some clients of mine when I was a CPA. But the opportunity wasn't a CPA opportunity. The opportunity was a real estate development opportunity, and that launched my career into doing over $750 million worth of real estate development. You know, the story goes that a friend of mine from college called me, and who I'd been staying in touch with through the years, who lived out of state, and said, you know, I have this piece of property and I had an investor lined up and the investor backed out the last minute. You don't happen to know anybody who wants to do a real estate deal, or maybe you have the money yourself. And he told me how much money he needed. And I kind of laughed and said, well, how much money do you think I have? He says, well, I've seen your house, so I'm assuming you have quite a bit of money. And I laughed. But what happened is I asked him to send me the information on it. The next day, a client of mine called and they said, Craig, you know, we have this money from a trust and we've been trying to do real estate deals and we're just not making any money on it. Do you happen to know of a real estate deal? And I thought to myself, well, I hate to get involved with my clients and hook them up with a friend, but I trusted both of them. And so I said, you know what? There is an opportunity that I'm aware of. Let me come sit down with you and share it with you. So I did. They agreed to get on a plane with me and fly out of state to meet my friend. As we went and met with my friend, we had toured the property, had lunch together. At the end of lunch, my client said to my friend, we'll do the deal. And I was grateful that I was able to help them facilitate the deal. To my surprise, on the plane flight home, I was sitting in the middle seat between my 2 clients. And they turned to me and they said, Craig, all right, now that we've got this, we have the money to buy the land, but we don't have the money to do the development. We know you've started a bank and are a shareholder in a bank and on the board. Can you help us get a loan? We don't know how to do that. And I said, well, we probably can't borrow from the bank that I'm on the board of, but I do know how to get bank loans. So I arranged the financing, and they said, if you're able to arrange it, we'll just cut you in. You don't have to put any money in, and you'll be a 1/3 partner. Well, I was grateful that I listened to my friend when he called, and I also was grateful that I listened to my clients. I eventually bought my friends out of the business and grew it to a multi-million-dollar real estate development empire. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. But sometimes we can have on that do not disturb sign. I could have said, I'm so busy with my accounting practice and tax season that I didn't have time to get on a plane and fly out in March to go do that. That's probably the busiest time for a tax accountant. So my point is, be in tune. You need to be listening to what opportunities are there. And then the second thing is you need to be willing. You have to be studying trends, be aware of what's out there, and understand what your strengths are and what your talents are. And when you kind of figure that out, then you're able to hone in very tightly on where those opportunities could be. You might say, but Craig, you were a CPA. How did you do real estate development? But the key is, I had a background in real estate. My dad taught me real estate at the kitchen table, and I had my real estate license at the age of 17. So you can imagine when I was in my mid-20s, having my own CPA firm, and I got those calls, and having had a lot of real estate development clients in my career, I understood the market. I watched some of my clients who were real estate developers who made mistakes, and I learned by watching them. And I saw some who were very successful. And I was able to learn some principles of success in real estate development from them. And so I guess my point is, you need to be willing. You need to be willing to do the research and understand the market. So those are the two. Tune in, be willing. And then the third is muster up the courage. There's a Chinese proverb that says, the gods cannot help those who do not seize opportunities. What will your response be when opportunity knocks on your door? Opportunities don't usually linger very long. That's been my experience. You have to be prepared to move. So you need to be, having done the research, you don't want to try to fit a round peg in a square hole. You don't want to try to start up a business just for the sake of starting a business, but you want to find and seize the right opportunities so that you can walk right through that door. Now, sometimes that requires a lot of patience. I wasn't necessarily really looking for real estate development, but it came at a great time in my life. I had recently been in a car accident, and I had pain in my lower back, and it hurt to sit behind a desk all day. And I thought to myself one day, what am I going to do for the next 30 years doing this, or 40 years potentially, because it hurt to sit down that long. And as I thought about that, this opportunity for real estate development came along. Now, I didn't just dump my accounting practice. I continued to do it. I eventually sold my accounting practice and went into real estate development full time. So I'm excited to see what opportunity knocks on your door. I believe in it. I've had a number of other opportunities that have knocked on my door, and some of them I almost let slip by. And I may share those at another time, but you have to realize they're not going to be around forever, and you don't want to have the do not disturb sign on when they come. I would hope that you would go to my website, bizsherpa.co, or go to our LinkedIn page or our Facebook page and share with me the opportunities that you've had come your way and how you seized those. And if you haven't had one yet, I can't wait to hear from you when one does come your way and the opportunity knocks and you're able to open that door and walk right through. Again, it takes being in tune, it takes being willing, and then it takes the courage to stand up and walk through that door when you open it. When you hear that knock and you realize that resonates for you and you do it, there's no greater reward. It's one of the basic fundamentals of our freedoms as Americans, that we have the right and the opportunity to live in a country where we can start our own business and exercise our freedoms and use our imagination and our creativity to make life better for other people, and in the process of that, get the rewards of owning a business that's able to do that for people. This is Craig Willett, the Biz Sherpa. Thanks for joining me today.
Be sure to go to our website to access the resources related to this episode at www.bizsherpa.co. If you enjoyed this show, tell your friends about us and be sure to rate our podcast. Craig would like to hear from you, so share your thoughts in the Facebook community at bizsherpa.co. Follow us on Twitter at bizsherpa_co and on Instagram at bizsherpa.co.